Greetings, comrades. This is Andre Aguides for a Bloomborough Kraga pack. There is a draft going on tonight, Saturday, September 19th or September 14th, 2024, in Glasgow at 6 o'clock. Come on down if you wish. We got an art card. We got a pretty dope looking rabbit, actually. Yeah, he looks awesome. All right. Over here. So first up we have Adrian Blade Assassin. It's black and colorless for 1/3. When it attacks, defending player loses life and you gain a life. So this really helps enable the you need to deal a damage on attack. It's going to happen. The 1/3 makes it likely it can attack the first few turns. I actually enjoy the red-black with lizards deck, but this is probably just like a C minus in that deck. Definitely not going into it for this. Alright. Runaway Together. A blue and a colorless for an instant. Return 2 creatures controlled by different players to their owner's hand. This basically has one home, frogs, and it's not even that great an enabler in frogs. You will play it sometime, but this is like a D. I mean, I can put it in my deck, but it doesn't move the needle any, and I don't want to put it in non-frog decks. That's... oof. I'm in rough shape. Alright, here we go. Scales of the Shale. A black and 2 colorless instant. It costs 1 less for each lizard you control. Target creature is +2/+0, gains lifelink and indestructible until end of turn. This is like C+ in non-lizard decks and then like a B- in lizard decks. I actually will happily play 1 copy of this in non-lizard decks. And for me to say that about a combat trick is high praise. But that can really do work. It can really set up humongous swings. Your opponent thinks they're racing and they're not. They are losing that race hard. Alright. Steam Path Charger is red and a colorless for 2/1 with Offspring. And when this creature dies, it will stun damage to target player. C-, this is a whatever. I'll play it in red decks. It says lizard, but this doesn't draw me towards lizards or anything. I'll play it in a lizard deck, but whatever. This is like a C-. You can go in. Polly Wallop. Green and 3 colors. Instant. It costs 1 less to cast for each frog you control. Target creature you control deals damage equal to twice its power to target creature you don't control. This is like C+. I wouldn't bump it in frog decks, even though it does make it cost less, like Scales of Shale. Usually very happy to have 1 in my deck. In frog decks, I might be happy to have 2. Yeah, it's a good card. It does the thing of killing the opposing creature. Alright. Corpseberry Cultivator is a 1 red and black-green hybrid for a 2/3 Squirrel Warlock. At the beginning of each combat on your turn, you may forage. And when you forage, put a +1/+1 counter on this. I think it's fine in the Squirrels deck, but I want to be in the Squirrels deck with lots of food or forage enablers first. It's like a C+ in the Squirrel decks and like a C- everywhere else. I've probably a D everywhere else. I wouldn't want to play this in non-Squirrel decks. It does enable itself, but you really want to be able to forage in other ways to put the counter on it. And it's not as good as Scales of Shale. Alright. Rough Shot Duo. It's 2 colors and a red for a 3/2 trample. And when you expend 4, target creature gold is +1/+1 gains trample until end of turn. Very interchangeable. The expend 4 doesn't super come together all the time. I like raccoons. I'll play Raccoony Boys. In that deck, it's fine. The game is giving creatures +1/+0 and trample. That's, again, fine. Probably C. Happy to play it, not stoked to play it. Alright. Fountainport Bell is a colorless, and when it enters, you may search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, shuffle it, and put it on top. And you can sacrifice this to draw a card. So it's like 2 mana to go find a land, can be over 2 turns. You can play it, and then with the trigger, the find a land trigger on the stack, sack it. But this is like C-, it's interchangeable. Again, I'll play it. Splashing isn't super big in this format, so I generally don't have to worry about that. But this is fine filler. You kind of don't want to do this turn 1 and then pop it turn 2, though. you kind of want to play a 2-drop turn 2. Just fair warning. Alright, Harnesser of Storms. It's a red and 2 colorless for an Otter Wizard. It's a 1/4. When you cast a non-creature Otter or Otter spell, you may exile the top card of your library. Until the end of turn, you may play that card. This ability triggers only once each turn. This is fine, specifically in the red-blue Otters deck, which isn't a great deck. When it does do well, it's often thanks to cards like this. The 4 toughness is a lot, but I'm not looking to start there. I'm not looking to take a card that I have to play in one of the worst archetypes in the format. If I'm in red-blue, fine. Harnesser of Storms is going to get in there, but I'm starting still on Scales of Shale. Alright, Stargaze. 2 black and X, sorcery. Look at twice X cards from the top of your library. Put X cards from among them in your hand and the rest into your graveyard. You lose X life. So there is just black and 2 colorless, draw 2, lose 2 in this format. So let's see how it compares to that. Double black, harder to cast. At 3 mana, you look at 2 and put 1. Probably worse. At 4 mana, you look at 4 and put 2. And lose 2. Probably still worse, because often at 3 mana you're just looking for your 4th land. Now at 5 mana, don't play this card. Just 5 mana, you should be doing better things than this card. Yeah, this is like an F. Don't put this in your deck. Just wow. Even if like you had a big bomb you're trying to get to, I wouldn't put this in your deck. It's like, what, 5 mana, look at the top 6, draw 3, lose 3, then lose the game because you've done nothing to affect the board at 5 mana? This is an F. Alright. Hop to it! 1 white, 2 colorless, sorcery, create 3 1/1 white Wabbit creature tokens. This is like a B-. This is excellent in the Rabbits deck, and I would consider this along with Scales of the Shale. Alright. Valley Rock Caller, it's a 1/3 Menace. When it attacks, each opponent loses X life. You gain X life for X the number of other squirrels, rats, lizards, and rats you control. So it's the black creatures. They don't go wide like the rabbits. This is still fine. This is probably like a C+. Like, I don't think this is better to start off with than Hop to It or Scales of the Shale. If you're in a dedicated squirrel deck or a dedicated very heavy rat deck or lizards deck, that's when this gets better, but you need to be dedicated. Like, you need to be sure this is hitting on all levels. Because I've played this in a just blue-black control deck or black something deck that wasn't super dedicated, and I've had it played against me in those decks, and it is very mediocre. By the time it attacks for like any significant damage, they can double block it. And if it's not attacking for significant, like if you're not attacking for like 2 and 3 the first few turns when the menace is good, this card really doesn't do anything. So this is like a C+. Like, I still think it's a very good playable card, but I would take Hop to It or Scales of Shales over it. Got a Swamp. Got a Foil Storm Chaser's Talent. 1 blue, when Storm Chaser's Talent enters, create a 1/1 red-blue otter token creature with prowess. For blue and 3 colorless, when it becomes level 2, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Now blue and 5 colorless, when you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 1/1 blue and red otter token with prowess. I think this is a sweet card. I think it's a bad card. Like, the good rate is a blue, make a 1/1 prowess thing. 4 mana to return instant or sorcery from graveyard to your hand. It's fine. It's probably a bit slow overall for this format. And then 6 mana after I paid 4 mana and 1 mana to, whenever I cast instant or sorcery, create a 1/1 blue and red otter creature token with prowess. That like wins the game eventually. And there's just a lot of cards you can spend on 6 mana that's going to win the game like soon. So that's, and again, blue's not a great color. If I'm in the blue-red prowess deck, I'd play it, but that deck was really hurt by like no op, sleight of hand, something like that. So it's between these two, Scales of Shale and Hop to It. I personally love rabbits, so I'm going to take Hop to It. The fact Scales of Shale is standing there is a nod to how good it is, but I would love to play Rabbits, actually. Alright, everybody, this is Andre Aguedez Desjardins signing off.